Hola, ¿cómo están, my compañeros? I feel like immigration should be about letting the people that need to stay, stay, and telling the people that need to leave to leave. It seems pretty much common sense. But Joe Biden's Department of Homeland Security, they are attempting to repeal a rule that was instituted by President Trump's administration on November 19th, 2020. This rule would say if you have an order of removal that you need to leave, but if you have an order of removal that has been deferred due to the Convention Against Torture, then you're allowed to work. That's pretty straightforward. So if you're coming here and you're truly fleeing torture and inhumane treatment, then you'll have a work visa. You'll have the ability to collect money or to make money as you're here doing the process. Joe Biden has said that he is going to repeal that, and he's going to repeal that because he wants to ensure that every single individual, not just the individuals who have had their orders of removal deferred, but he's saying every single person who's had an order of removal is allowed to work. He's trying to allow every single person that he just let across and that he just processed, quote unquote, and that he told to leave, he's giving them the ability to stay here and work. And the people who are fleeing true torture and communism, Venezuela and all this stuff, they're coming here, they're also trying to get jobs, and they're going to have to compete against perhaps even the same people that have been torturing them. MS-13 guys come across the border following the same guys that they've just been assaulting the entire time. That's the difference. There's people that need to stay and there's people that need to go. Listen to these comments that were made. They were made by obviously pro-immigration, pro-open border individuals, and they were made by businesses who employ illegal aliens. If you look at the last little bit, it says in response to the rulemaking, to the proposed rulemaking that President Trump had issued, in response to the proposed rulemaking about telling the people to leave that need to leave and allowing the people to stay who needed to stay. In response to that rule, the Department of Homeland Security received more than 302 comments during the 30-day public comment period. Nearly 98% of commenters opposed the proposed rule, with several commenters specifically requesting that DHS withdraw the rule. And that's exactly what President Biden did. I mean to say, he repealed President Trump's rule. This rule was believed by commenters, by less than 2% of commenters. Less than 2% expressed support for the rule, with such commenters generally supporting the rule because they believed it would deter illegal immigration and protect U.S. workers. That's what President Trump was trying to do. He's trying to prevent illegal immigration and protect U.S. workers. Only 2% of the comments happen to support President Trump, and that's because this sort of stuff does not get publicized. So less than 2% expressed support for the rule because they believed it would deter illegal immigration and protect U.S. workers. The commenters who opposed President Trump's rule argued that it would significantly limit the ability of individuals who have a final order of removal and are released. I don't know why they would be released on an order of supervision to legally work. It would allow every single individual that has just crossed the border and has an order of removal, it allows them to freely work. This is how Biden is going. This is how he's doing the bait and switch. He's doing hey, I told them to leave, but here they're staying. And he's telling us, he's baiting us. He's saying, hey, we are giving each one of these individuals orders of removal. But then he's switching this rule right here that made it to where they would have to either leave or stay here and not work. Now they have the order of removal, but they get to stay here and work regardless. It doesn't make any sense. And what's really strange is that President Trump's rule was actually, the commenters who opposed President Trump's rule argued that it would significantly limit the ability of individuals who have final orders of removal and are released on orders of supervision to make money for themselves and their families, which may include U.S. citizen children. But that's what every citizen of the United States, we all need to make money for our families. And did you know that every single citizen of the United States, their children are also citizens that need to make money and that need to be protected by our laws? What's interesting, though, is that several commenters also noticed the proposed rule would impose exorbitant costs and burdens on U.S. employers. So it's the U.S. employers that said, oh, it's going to cost us too much to have to hire real citizens. Let us hire these desperate people who have been told to leave the country and don't have any chance other than this job that I'm offering to them at this rate. Perhaps they might have better opportunities for employment currently, but they say that there's a labor shortage, yet we have killed 60 million of our citizens because there's not enough room. We need to really reassess that. The most sickening thing I feel about this whole entire situation is that there was governors, there was various state and local agencies, including attorney generals from 15 states, also opposed the rule, also opposed President Trump's rule that said if you get an order to removal, or an order to vacate, an order to leave the United States, then you need to go. But if you get an order to leave, but then we see that you're actually fleeing due to torture, inhumane treatment, then you have your order of removal, but we see that you're fleeing these things, so we're going to let you work here as we process. And this is something that sounds like it would be adequate, but what has just happened is the floodgates have been opened. The floodgates have been opened, and now they are also being supplemented. The floodgates have been opened, and baby, it has started to rain. Make it rain. President Biden has made it rain for these illegal aliens.